Ready to get the fit body of your dreams? Welcome to the FITBODY podcast. I'm Lohre, an IFBB fitness pro, certified personal trainer, and nutrition coach. Back in 2004, I created one of the world's first online personal training programs and have helped thousands of women transform their bodies and their lives online ever since. I've been featured in fitness magazines worldwide and even competed on American Ninja Warrior. But my passion is helping women love both how they look and how they feel through balanced workouts and healthy eating. Welcome to the FITBODY podcast. It's October, and that means that we are going to be seeing pink ribbons pretty much everywhere. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and whether you're listening to this podcast in October or any other time of the year, I am really looking forward to sharing with you my personal experience with breast cancer and hopefully helping other women face this really scary but very treatable disease. So let me start at the beginning. Being diagnosed with breast cancer really rocks your world in a way that's hard to imagine. Making it through that with stage 1 invasive breast cancer, having surgery, having radiation, feeling like you're in the clear, and then again, a year and a half later, finding another lump and finding out again that it is invasive breast cancer, it's enough to make you question everything. The only sense I can make of this diagnosis is that I'm supposed to share my story with the world. God's filled me with a sense of urgency that I really have to warn women and help them find breast cancer early before it spreads. What you're about to hear is my personal experience. I'm not a medical doctor. I have obviously done a lot of research and I have been through a lot with breast cancer. And I've worked with many women through my online training that have also faced breast cancer before, during, or immediately after our time together. So I have a unique perspective, but again, I'm not a medical professional. So please do seek medical advice if you have specific questions. So through my story, I have 3 takeaways that I'm hoping that you come out of this with. You have to be your own advocate. Both times, I found the tumors in my breast through self-breast exams. I had to personally push to have them biopsied after mammograms and ultrasounds. Second, self-breast exams, in addition to diagnostic tools like mammograms, have to be a regular part of your life, especially if you have a family history or, like me, have dense breast tissue. For me personally, with extremely dense breast tissue, mammograms were whiteouts, which means it was nearly impossible to see abnormalities in them. Following mammograms up immediate with ultrasound was the only way to visualize the lumps that I had felt for the doctors. The third thing is that breast cancer, it's a very treatable disease. Finding it early makes a huge difference in your outcomes. Do not put off routine testing. The 5-year survival rate for breast cancer that has not spread your lymph nodes is 98%. If you catch breast cancer at stage 0 or at stage 1, you have a highly treatable disease. Okay, so let me just tell you my story. I have always had very dense breast tissue and cystic breast tissue. So even at the age of 30, I think, I was having mammograms because I would feel a lump. I'd go to my gynecologist and they would send me in for a mammogram. Early on, I found out that I have dense breast tissue, which means that it's just really difficult to see any lumps or abnormalities on a traditional mammogram. So diagnostic or 3D mammograms do a better job of it, and they're a little more detailed. So I would be going for each of those. So every time I'd come in, I would feel something, I'd go in and have it checked. And I'm really grateful that the doctors did listen so closely to me and didn't dismiss things that I was feeling because they checked it out pretty quickly. So that went on and off over the next 10, 15 years or so. When I was 44, I found a lump again and went into my gynecologist, they did the breast exam there, sent me for an ultrasound. And at the time, they looked at it. It was a very small mass they assumed was something called a fibroadenoma, which is kind of a benign mass that could come and go. So the thought at the time was, let's watch it, let's see what happens. So I came back 6 months later and had another series of a mammogram and then an ultrasound. At that time, they looked at it again. They're like, well, yeah, it looks like that's still there. Doesn't seem to have changed, really. So let's just keep watching it. After another 6 months, I came back for what was now becoming a routine type of screening. And at that point, it was the end of the year. We had met our medical deductible. We had a very high healthcare savings plan that had a astronomical, really, deductible. And my son had an appendicitis at the beginning of the year. So throughout that year, we had met our family deductible. So when I went in this time, they looked at that same lump that I could still feel on underneath, very bottom of the right side of my breast, and pulled it up. It looks like it had gotten a little bit bigger, maybe gone from like 7 millimeters to 8 or 9. And at that point, the radiologist came in, looked at it and says, yeah, still doesn't look like anything I'm really concerned about. If you want to, we can biopsy it, but you don't have to. And I thought, well, heck, we have met our deductible. Let's go ahead and biopsy this. So thank God we did. I went in, scheduled the biopsy the next day, came in. That was a process in itself. But we did a needle biopsy that was ultrasound guided, at which point they took core samples of the mass itself, sent those off, and scheduled me for an appointment. That was on a Friday. Scheduled me for an appointment to come back. So on Monday, I was coming back to the hospital to get the results. And keep in mind, for the last 15 years, I've been in and out with mammograms and with ultrasounds. So this was just routine. I didn't think anything of it. Looking back, I probably should have, because that morning, someone from the office called that I later found out is called a nurse navigator. And they were just letting me know that I could bring somebody with me if I wanted. I hadn't really thought about it at the time, but I told my husband that, and he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to come. And so we walk into this beautiful, brand new women's health cancer care center that our local hospital has. It's where all of the testing is done for mammograms and biopsies and things like that. And we were taken back into a room and sat down, and a woman walked in who kind of gave us a little bit of information, just asked us to sit tight and a doctor would be in. Unfortunately, the doctor was caught doing something else. So 15, 20 minutes passes. I'm still like, I want to get home and get back to work. My husband, though, had started to get nervous. He told me later. He realized there was something wrong at the time. And I feel so blindsided by it. So kind of really ridiculous that I didn't know more was going on. But anyhow, the nurse navigator comes in and sits down, and in a very kind but very direct way tells me, you have breast cancer. And it's like a sonic boom went off in my head. My husband reached over, grabbed my hand, and held on to me. And over the next 30 minutes, we were inundated with information and results and invasive and lobular, all of these words, HER2 positive, negative, estrogen positive, negative, different options. All of these words were just kind of flying at me. At one point, she stopped, kind of recognized that I was still kind of in shock with everything. Said, from everything we can see currently, this looks to be a small cancer that we are going to get you through. We're not going to lose you. And from that moment on, I had just kind of a calm come about me. And the very next thing I wanted to know was, okay, well, when can we get it out? Like, can we come back tomorrow? Like, how do we do this from here? So over the next week, there was a lot of learning went on, a lot of doctor's appointments. And I'm going to share with you some of the details of that in my next podcast. For now, thank you so much for joining me. If you have specific questions about breast cancer, I am an open book. Reach out. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for joining me on the FITBODY podcast. Looking forward to sharing more health and fitness information with you soon. Want more information about my online personal training for women or the world's best supplements and protein powder? Check out fitbody.com for more info.